Hello everyone, and welcome to our video contribution for the Festive Tech Calendar 2022. Like all other years, the Festive Tech Calendar initiative is all about sharing knowledge and helping people to learn new things. And in the meantime, improve their skill sets all throughout the festive month of December. This is truly by communities for the communities. And with our video for this year, Karel and myself want to give you some advice and help on how the newly rebranded Microsoft Learn can help you pass your next exam. We all know that Microsoft Learn, that we can build our skill set. And in this video, Karel and myself will jump into the Microsoft Learn platform and show you quite a lot of our tips and tricks. So we really hope that by the end of our session, our video, you will have learned about multiple ways to succeed for your next Microsoft exam, and that you know how you can connect with other learners and experts, and even where to ask your questions, and how you can share resources, and so on and so on. But before we start, let us also quickly introduce ourselves. So for people who don't know me, my name is Matthyssen, and just as Karel, I live in Belgium, where I at the moment work as an Azure technical advisor. I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer and a Microsoft Azure MVP. Community-wise, I'm a founding board member of a Belgium user group called MC2MC. Next to that, I also have my own blog. It's listed on the slide at the moment. And like most IT professionals these days, I'm also on Twitter and LinkedIn. So if you ever want to reach out or just want to say hi, you can always contact me through my Twitter handle, or you can simply even scan the QR code. So I think, Karel, you can introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Wim. So my name is Karel de Winter. I'm indeed also living in Belgium, not far away from Wim. I work at Microsoft as Microsoft Technical Trainer. I joined this year, so recently changed jobs. I'm a former Microsoft MVP for Azure, so I really know the community and I love the community still. And if you want to reach out to me, you can go to LinkedIn, find my name, or just go to my blog where you will find my LinkedIn details and also my Twitter details. Let's dive in.
Yeah, let me share my screen. So like you can see at the moment, I just opened my Edge browser, and for my study purposes, I created a specific profile. All the tabs and all the links, resources, and other stuff that I need to do whenever I start learning for any specific exam are in there. And I think, Karel, we can start with looking the first one, the exam readiness zone.
Yeah, so indeed. First of all, so Microsoft Learn has rebranded. That means that not only visually there are new designs, new things, but also a lot of new content has been added to Microsoft Learn. And also every docs article is now a Learn article. That means that you can start looking for your next exam, getting information about that, how to prepare and so on. But then inside of that exam information, you will also find links to the learn.microsoft.com. And that's like one portal that you need to go to, where you find all the details about the exam, the course itself, what you can do to prepare, and also what you can do to learn more, right? To, for example, go to the quick starts and quickly deploy a VM in Azure, Windows VM or Linux VM, and so on and so on. So everything is on Microsoft Learn nowadays, and the URL for that is learn.microsoft.com. But first things first, the exam readiness zone. Maybe you don't know what the exam readiness zone is, but that is really a cool resource for you to prepare for your exam, because as a Microsoft trainer, we are recording videos for you, really short videos that are going to highlight exam topics and also shortly explain in a high-level way what the topic is all about. So for every exam that we have, or almost every exam, we are going to create videos so you can prepare what you need to know for your exam. And then next to those videos, what we also have is of course different documentations that you can find with all the details about the exam and so on. But the exam readiness zone, Wim, that is really the first step that you need to go to. If you want to learn how to prepare for that exam, what to expect on that specific exam, that's really all in short episodes, short videos explained on this exam readiness zone there. Yeah.
And to be honest, Carl, before you told me, I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. I wasn't aware of this one.
Yeah.
And for me, it's really a good start, even if you tell people how to get started, where I need to look to. There are a lot of resources available.
Mm-hmm.
This one is now also a link and a place I also mentioned. Take a look at it. Start your journey there. And it's quite easy. You can even filter on the products. You can look into all the Azure ones. You can even look on the Microsoft 365 one. So it's really a good starting point whenever you start learning. But I think the first thing a lot of people need to be aware of, at the moment, there are quite a lot of learning paths, I think. And sometimes it's also a question I receive a lot from, how do I get started with the specific path, where do I need to look to, and which topics I need to cover, and so on and so on. But I think there is another link. That's the second one over here. Let me open it. And I think you can already find quite a lot of information related to all the different paths over here.
Yeah, the quick link is also on the first page there, aka.ms/Azure Train Cert Deck, and that gives all of the different training paths that we have, exams that we have that have, of course, a link to that learn.microsoft.com page. And it's available in different languages. So if you're not a native English speaker or you want to read it in your own language, you can go ahead and select different languages. That's very cool to see. So inside of this learning path document, we have references to the certification poster that you will show briefly, I think, Wim. But also the different roles that we have. So if you want to take a Microsoft 365 exam, if you want to take an Azure exam, inside of the Azure track, we have different flavors, right? I think, Wim, you are more in the infrastructure side.
In the infra side. And the hybrid at the moment. So more focusing on the AZ 104, AZ security part of 500, all those things. And then now mixing it with the hybrid ones. So like you can see the AZ 800 at the moment and the 801, but you still need some specific skill sets to manage all those other things. But it's really good explained over here. It can already give you a basic view how to get started and maybe what's the easiest path for you to get started, because maybe you already have a specific skill set. And in my opinion, it's more logic to build on that specific skill set than maybe start off from scratch with something completely new. To start with the first exams.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and if you don't have any experience with Azure, you can also start with the fundamentals exams. And we will talk about the renewals of those exams that you do, but the fundamentals exams, they don't expire. So that means once you take such an exam, you don't have to retake an exam after 1 year or redo such a renewal that we have now. It's just there, and it will be in your portfolio always.
And there are quite a lot of those fundamentals at the moment. You have the AZ9. You can look at the screen at the moment. AZ900, TP 900, AI 900, and you even have a lot of other ones. I think you also have those in the Microsoft 365 tracks. So like the MS 900, if I'm correct out of my head, but quite a lot of things you can start off with and learn all that new terminology, learn the basics, and then build up from there. Because I think quite a lot of people, when they start off, they already start with one of the more advanced one, which requires specific skill set. But maybe if you're not aware of everything, start with those fundamentals. Then you already have those. So, and you can even have some meetings and talk about all those specific words and things they use. So it's a good starting point.
Yeah, correct.
So maybe to start this training journey, I think, Carl, this was also a link you told me. I also never known about this one, so maybe you can explain a little bit to
So that is almost the same thing as the previous page, but it will dive into details about the Azure exams or the Azure journey, the Microsoft 365 journey, the data journey. So if you scroll down, you will see that you have different modalities there, different possibilities that you can do inside of such a training journey, right? So inside of the Microsoft platform, what we also have is that those instructor-led trainings, and this is really part of the Enterprise Skills Initiative. If you follow such an instructor-led training, then that means that you will get access to courses, online courses that you can take, and of course, then you can follow the same approach. So instead of preparing for yourself by self-paced learning, going to Microsoft Learn and do those different modules, where we will talk about in just a second, you can follow along instructor-led trainings. And this document really shows you the different possibilities that you have, the different courses that you can follow along, or you do it self-paced learning by visiting Microsoft Learn and doing all those modules. You can do that and then take the exam, or you can ask your company, the enterprise that you work for, if they have access to that Enterprise Skills Initiative, which is an organization within Microsoft that delivers such trainings, right? Those are the instructor-led trainings, and that is what this document is all about. And it will give you an overview of what courses that we have, and if you don't have access to Enterprise Skills Initiative, then you can follow those courses inside of Microsoft Learn. So all the content that we as a trainer deliver, that is exactly publicly available to all of you inside of Microsoft Learn. So everything is now inside of Microsoft Learn.
And something maybe also good to mention, Carl, already is that there are quite a lot of links and topics we're talking about in our video, but we will make a blog post about it, and we will put all those links in there, and we will also share it, so it's maybe easier, because we're clicking through it like it's our day-to-day job, but maybe it's easier if you can read it and just click on the links and follow it through the blog post in combination maybe with this video. Just to make it clear. Like you can see, if you want, you can start studying, I think, for the rest of next year, in the new year, because there are quite a lot of topics. But it's not always easy to have a general overview, but even there, Microsoft created a specific link, I think. I hope this is a correct one. So we have a quite big certification map at this moment. So you can see it's split up into Azure, Dynamics 365, Microsoft 365, Power Platform, and even the security, compliance, and identity. And if you look under a specific column, you will see all the related exams. So like Carl already mentioned, you have the fundamentals. You can start with those and then build up to those role-based specific exams. And you can take a look at it. You can even click it, and it will link you directly to the exam page, where you can look into the specific details related to the exam. But this is quite a good overview. Maybe you're specialized in Azure, in a specific division in your company, and you need to get certified to get some specific, how do we say it, called specific, like MSP or something. And that many people needs to have certified. You can take a look at it and click through it. I don't know if you have something to add, Carl, on this one.
No, the word where you were thinking of was advanced specialization.
I couldn't go on to it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, so you see the next to the popular ones like the Azure Administrator or the MS 500, which is the Security Administrator Associate. That is really the popular ones, but we also have different ones maybe you are not so familiar with, like the data exams, the Power Automate, so the PL exams. A lot of exams already exist, and a lot of new ones are coming up also. So really cool to see.
They even have those specialties these days, like those ones for SAP, AVD, for example, and even Azure Support Engineer one. That's one I'm studying for at the moment. There's not a lot of study material, so it's quite a lot linking through Microsoft Learn from one link to the other one, but it works. So hopefully you will create a video about it.
It's a lot
Just
of
a tip.
PowerShell.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of PowerShell, to be honest.
Yeah.
But maybe, for example, if we can click to it from over here, you will see it will open another page, and this is the page I wanted to come to. For every exam you have at the moment, you also have a specific exam page where you can find the certification details, how to take the exam, what's important, which certification you receive when you pass the exam, which skills are measured in the exam, and even quite easy, all the Microsoft Learn modules to start learning, and the learning paths are added to this page. So you can simply click on Start, log in with your specific Learn credentials, probably your Microsoft account, and you can start learning through Microsoft Learn from over here. You can also book your exam. That's maybe we need to go to in detail a little bit later on our call, maybe. And which other resources, for example, you can use. Something I also always find quite important when this, you can go to the certification dashboard, but important is also you can go to the details. If it's clicking through, no, that wasn't.
You first need to click on AZ900.
Yeah, I clicked the wrong one, I think. Yeah, no.
And then again to that same link, Microsoft. So you need to go to the exam page itself.
This one, I think. This one I wanted to show.
PDF file.
The exact PDF file and the study guide, which measure what is measured in this specific exam. So, for example, you can scroll down. You can see describe the cloud concept, and you can even see how many points are related to that specific topic when you do the exam in real life.
Yeah, so that's a tip from my side. If you see like only 10 or 15% on a certain topic, then that means that you are going to have less questions about that topic on your exam. So that means that maybe, of course, you should prepare for that specific topic, but you need to focus on the other ones. The other ones are more important than the ones with less percentage behind them.
Yeah, you quite easy see the difference. For example, this one has 35-40%, and this one is less. At other exams, you even have specific topics with 5 to 10%. So focus on the ones with the biggest percentages, I would say.
Yeah, correct.
So, and from here, I think we can go. How do we get started in learning these things? Maybe we can first look into the mock trainings, for example, Karel.
Yeah, so like I said, we have instructor-led trainings, but that's of course a paid training. What you also can do is follow the virtual training days. So now and then we have Microsoft is also delivering virtual training days, and that is open to everyone, right? It's not an instructor-led thing. It's more like a one-to-many big event that we have related to Azure Fundamentals, related to Azure Administrator, different tracks there. But what is really interesting here is even the instructor-led courses are paid courses. You can still view the content of what we as a trainer deliver. So that means that you have by design, by default, access to all the content that we are delivering in our specific training. So if you click one, I don't know if the AZ800 course, for example.
Yeah, for example, this one,
that one you will see, of course, a little bit of information about the course itself. But if you go below that, you will find the collection. So the collection is really the different Microsoft Learn modules. So a module is really mapping to the content that will be delivered in such an instructor-led training. So we also, it's not like you have to follow it within a Microsoft environment. You can also go to third-party learning partners, if you will, but that's an instructor-led training is mostly a 4 to 5 day course that you follow along, and then you can go and go through all the different modules in an instructor-led way. But if you want to do that on your own pace, you can click that module, you can find all the information in that, and also a lot of references to the docs, which are now the Learn pages, but you will find all the details here. I see that you have already done that module. That's really cool to see, Wim.
Yeah, the thing maybe I want to mention is you can go through the module, and in between there are quite a lot of links. I would say take a look at those links also, because if you're not working with that specific resource day in, day out, probably some details will be missed if you don't read the complete docs. Just follow these different modules, like Karel says, follow the different steps, but also take a look at those links, read through them. If something is not completely clear, look a little bit further. So for example, every module and every list, at the end you have a summary, and mostly there are a lot of resources you can click on. And if you click on one specifically, you will be redirected to another Microsoft Learn page explaining that specific topic you should learn a little bit more about than the things that I already mentioned before. Because that's the thing, I see a lot of people just go into the modules, don't click those links, and then they start taking the exam, and then they're surprised of things they even didn't read about. So that's the thing I also hear quite a lot. So it's not only looking at the things written down, but also go through all those links and try to do the things and get a hands-on feeling about the stuff you're not working with on a regular basis, I would say.
Yeah. One tip I always give is that if you are doing those modules, log in with your personal Microsoft account. If you need to have your company profile or your company email address attached to it, you can do that. You can go to your profile settings and you can attach multiple email addresses or accounts to it. So why doing that? Well, if you change companies, if you change roles inside of that company, you take your learning progress with you and you take your certifications with you, because they are attached to your Microsoft Learn profile.
Yeah, I always do it with my Microsoft account. I never did it with any company account or whatever. It's still even my old Hotmail from 10, 12 years ago, I think. But it's like Karel said, if I switch company, those things stick with me, and I can connect with another way to my company, so they can use my certificates if they need to acquire a specific thing they need for Microsoft, for example. But try to use, like Karel's mentioned, your own account and not your company account.
Correct.
Maybe also something good to mention is you have that Microsoft Learn, you have all those modules with all those trainings inside, but you also have those GitHub with all the labs, I think.
Yeah, so that is really interesting there, because a lot of trainings have labs, but you can only access those labs if you, of course, subscribe to that training, do an instructor-led training. Don't get me wrong, you can see the steps that are being done or asked inside of those labs. You cannot do those labs, of course, because you don't have access to that environment, but you can still see the steps that you need to do. So maybe you are interested in, okay, I just want to play a little bit more with the services, with the things inside of the Azure platform. But you can go to such a lab and see all the different steps, maybe also download the files that are needed to do those labs. But of course, you need to have your own subscription for doing that. If you're going to do the Microsoft or the security exams, prepare for that. Then next to an Azure subscription, you also need to have that Microsoft 365 environment if you're going to work with those security things. So really interesting. If you want to do the preparing for an exam and you want to do a lot more hands-on, you can follow these steps. Of course, it's not inside the lab environment that you get if you are going to follow an instructor-led training, but you can have a look at it. Really interesting information. Maybe you can deploy it in your own environment and start with that. By the way, inside of the Microsoft Learn modules, we also have those sandbox environments. So for that, for example, if you go and go to the administrator learning pod, you will see that maybe you can find a module that you need that gives information about the storage account. Well, one thing that you need to do inside of that Microsoft Learn module, inside of the different steps, is create a storage account. A really simple step, but if you don't have any Azure environment, you can really go to that step and then just follow the things there. We will spin up a sandbox environment. So in the back, it will be an Azure subscription managed for you. And you just need to complete the steps there. Really interesting. If you don't have access to an own subscription, follow that inside of Microsoft Learn.
And even if you don't have a subscription, Carl, I think also, try to advise to some people, look at those interactive labs. Because it will simulate the steps you need to take in your own environment if you have one. But if you don't have one, or it's too small or whatever, or you just have a free one and you already used all the money for that specific month or the time window you have, you can also look at those interactive labs. So you can simply click through all settings and somebody will do the actions for you, but you have a look and feel of how things are done in the environment. So maybe, Carl, when people want to start off and they don't get a subscription from their own company, the thing I also always advise is go to the free account page and try to create your own account. You still need to add some MasterCard of Visa at the moment, I think, still.
Correct.
So you can simply go over here, start for free, fill in all requirements, fill in your last name, first name, and so on and so on. And then you can start off with a $200 credit for the moment.
Of course. Well, you can also start with the free services, right?
Yeah. This one, for example, so if you want to spin off those, you can start. So maybe for specific exams, you can already use those. So you don't need to spin up another environment, or you don't need to go to your boss and ask, I need a test subscription to do my certification or whatever. So definitely also look at those. Maybe some of them will match the thing you're learning at the moment. But otherwise, you can always create a free account and try it out from there, I think. I think, Carl, I have also some other resources. You were focusing on all those Microsoft ones at the moment. I understand it for some reason. But there are also some other resources you can use, and probably something quite familiar to everybody. I think if you're on Twitter, LinkedIn, and all those things, and you're following the Cloud family, you probably will heard of John Saville, probably. So he has quite a good of YouTube list of exams. So he explains in the short videos, some quite lengthy, even 3-hour videos, how things are done and which are the main focus points to pass a specific exam. So definitely go check out his YouTube channel. There is also a direct link. You can see it. We will also share it. I would say he has quite a lot of videos at the moment, all focusing on Azure and master classes, and also focusing on specific exams. So if you have quite a lot of time, you can also look at those. Next to that, you also have Azure Citadel. Was that one you were familiar with, Carl? I think you were.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
So this is a community initiative, also focusing on getting people hands-on and learning Azure. So we can see all those different categories. Maybe some of those categories are part of the exam you're studying for at the moment. Then I would advise also take a look at those, because it's with another focus view. So they explain things, probably quite a lot of what they were explaining we will also learn when you do the official Microsoft Learn and stuff like that. But maybe you learn some other details, and all the links to other documents and so on are also in there. So maybe you don't want to focus on studying for a specific exam and you just want to learn about a specific topic you're not familiar with, like for example Azure Arc. Definitely also look at this one, because it's quite good explained with a lot of real life scenarios and things like that. So also take a look at that one. And then even have quite an old one. Do you still know this one, Carl?
Test lab guides.
That's even on TechNet, the old TechNet. But they're still there. And maybe there's some topics in there you can still use. I think it's the predecessor of Microsoft Learn. In these days, everybody was writing wikis and placing stuff on TechNet. And this one is also an older link with test lab guides, so also with things you can build in your own environment with step by step how you need to set things up. So you can also look at those. Not really focusing on Azure, more on Windows Server and all those little bit older things. But yeah, definitely, if you're not familiar with everything, also a good point to look at, start off, and learn maybe some new things for some people. With that being said, I think we can also mention the cloud games. That's one final thing we can mention, I think, Carl.
Yeah, the cloud games, and then that exam demo. That's also one. Cloud games is really new, so it's really cool. I just played security, compliance, and identity management. I don't know if it's open to everybody. I think you need to register for it, but you just keep an eye on that, because that is really a cool way of working with the Azure services by playing a game. So it's really, you are playing a game in your web browser, of course, but you need to do something. Like for the security and compliancy game, what you need to do is you need to find somebody who has hacked an environment, right? Then you need to filter out different steps. You need to investigate things. That's really the purpose of that game. The other one is the data feeds. That you are going to implement AI technology, use Azure Machine Learning, export your data to Power BI, and so on and so on. So different possibilities there. You can find trailer videos on YouTube that we have, so you can see what you need to do inside of that game. You can register for that. I don't know if you're able to play it already. I played it.
No, you need to register, because I did this one and also needed to register. So
but I think you really it's open to the public. So keep an eye on that, because that is really cool. Only 2 for the moment. We are expanding that to other technologies or services, but that's really a cool way of learning.
It's a different approach. It's quite a little bit more interactive, and then in a fun way start learning, and then maybe it's easier to remind stuff later on.
Correct. I think the last thing is, if you go to aka.ms/exam demo, you can showcase what you can expect. So if you finally booked your exam and you need to sit down for your exam, by the way, it's still valid to go to an exam center, but nowadays you can also do your exam at home. I prefer it to do it on my bed. I don't know what you are doing with, but I do it on my bed always.
My wife's desk on the other side of our room, so and I clean up her desk. So because everything needs to be clean, no books on there and stuff like that. So, and I mostly use my Surface laptop. But like you said, I also, the last 3 years, every exam I took from home. Because for me, the nearest by training center is also a 50-minute drive. So 15 minutes over, doing your exam, maybe having some hiccups with the material over there. And then most of the time you're half day away just to do an exam. And when you do it from home, you just have that time, and you directly know if you're passed or not. It's nothing different than when doing it at the exam center.
No, that's true. And also the check that they do before you take the exam, it's also the same. It's not the same, of course, but you really need to hand out your ID, your passport, so they can check. You need to take a picture of that so they can compare it. You need to sit before your webcam so they can see you. You need to show your room if they don't trust you. You need to take pictures of the room. So they will check everything. So if you are doing it at your home desk, make sure that it's cleaned up. If you are not into cleaning up, you can do it in the bathroom. You can do it in your bedroom, just like me. You just need to throw away.
Quite a good of internet connection, because if your Wi-Fi drops out, you have a problem, I think.
Correct. But what we are looking right now is just the thing that you will see if you take that exam. So if you go to aka.ms/exam demo, that will give you some simulated environment where you can test how it will be on your device to take an exam. So Wim is really quickly shopping through the different pages, but that's of course because he has already taken a lot of exams. But first, you will have a lot of information about what the exam is, what you can request, and so on and so on. So you don't need to read it, but if you are interested, of course, you can read it. And then this page will show you how much time you have and how many questions that you have. And then if you click start the exam, you will start effectively the exam, and the time remaining will be counting down. So that is what you see on the right side above in the screen. And then you can start by going to the first question. I think, Wim, this is just a simple question where you can select only one answer.
Yeah, but I'm not going to read the whole answer.
No. But what really...
That's an example, yeah.
Yeah, but what really interesting is here is you will see all the different types of questions. So we have select one answer, select multiple answers, or if the question is you need to select at least two questions, that is what this is about. So if you select 3, it will say, okay, you only can select 2, right? So that is it will give you the hint. So if you only select one answer and you need to give 2 answers, it will tell you that, right? If you select a wrong answer, that does not mean that you will get negative points. So Microsoft is not counting down if you have faulty answers. So you will see a lot of different types of questions. But what really is interesting here, if you click on that take a break, that is something new on the bottom of the screen. So you can request for a break. So if something happens, if you are doing the exam at home and something happens, you can request for a break. So that means that you cannot go back to the previous questions. You can only go forward, but you can stop the time, take a break, come back when you are ready to go and proceed with your exam. That is something new.
In my previous exam, it was the first time I saw it. So it's in there. So yeah. I didn't use it, but yeah, it was the first time I saw it. I think it was last month, somewhere in November, I think. So yeah. And this is also a type of question style you get a lot. So you need to drag and drop. So simply drag and drop. And maybe the next one, let me see what that one is. You need to place everything in the right order. That's another example.
The typical...
And then you need to click on specific
I don't see that a lot. I think that is more in the AZ800 exam where you need to show a lot of details about configuration, control panel, and such things.
And then select the right one, for example, those things. So quite a lot, to be honest, quite a lot of different types of questions. But yeah, it works. Yeah, last times I never had problems with answering questions, to be honest, or when something hiccuped up or something, or I dropped out. So the last times I did my exams, everything went smoothly, to be honest. But yeah, definitely see that you have quite a good of internet connectivity, because if you have not that good of broadband outside, maybe look at it, because I don't think it's you're going to be that happy if you drop out an exam at question 45 or 55 and you get to start all over again. So
that's a pity. I think that was all of the information that we had. Wim, don't know if you have any other tab open.
Quite a lot of other resources, but I think we can still tell about it for 2 hours if we want. But our main focus at the moment was how to do it through Microsoft Learn. So I think we covered everything at the moment. So let me go to our closing slides, maybe. The next one. So I think, Carl, with that all being said, we can say that was the end of our video. So we can thank you all for your attention. We really hope you learned something from our video and that you can start learning some new skills in the new year. Be sure to check out all other videos, blog posts, and other contributions at https://festivetechcalendar.com, and definitely check out Festive Tech YouTube channel, because I think there will be quite a lot of other interesting Microsoft Cloud related or other topics covered and delivered by different communities and people from all around the world. You can next to that, you can also keep an eye on Twitter for the hashtag Festive Tech Calendar, or you can follow the Cloud Family account. And know that you ever have a question related to Microsoft Learn, or you don't know how to get started with learning new Azure or Microsoft topics, that you can always reach out to us. So you can always contact us through our Twitter handles. And with that being said, I think the only thing we need to say and to end of our video is take care, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and see you next year. Bye all.
Bye-bye.